Hey my friends, welcome back. It's Deb from Bowl Me Over. I appreciate you joining me today. I'm going to switch things up. I was going through my videos the other day and I was like, I wonder if people really need me to tell you what's in front of me, all the ingredients for a recipe. And most people know that the recipe is right underneath in the description. So if you feel strongly either way, leave a comment below. I appreciate that. So we're just gonna jump right into it today. And what we're making today is Cowboy Meatloaf. It's really good. It's meatloaf, like a really yummy meatloaf with mashed potatoes on top with cheese and bacon and all kinds of good stuff. So this one's yummy, guys. So I think you'll enjoy it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And this is a really quick and easy meatloaf recipe. I like it because there's a couple shortcuts we can take along the way. And what we're starting with, we have that ground beef. And for meatloaf, I recommend either an 80-20 or an 85-15 because you want that little bit of fat in there. It gives it a ton of flavor. So the first thing we're gonna do is start with our eggs. We're gonna use 2 eggs in this. Just gonna crack those really quick. I'm kind of old school. I always crack them in another vessel before I put them in with the cake or the meatloaf or whatever it is. So that's perfect. Grew up on a farm, what can I say? And some ketchup right on top. I like this too because it's a nice, kind of almost a meal in one. You know, just a lot of yummy stuff all together. We're gonna use some Parmesan cheese, which I personally love Parmesan cheese in meatloaf. It's salty, so you're kind of eliminating a couple of ingredients there, but it's a little salty. It's not greasy like a cheddar cheese might be, because they can sometimes be a little greasy. You could use the, I don't know that I'd use the stuff in the green can, but you could use the pre-made shredded Parmesan for this. That would be just fine. We only need a 1/4 cup. That's perfect. Set them aside and put our cheese in there. That's about a 1/4 cup. Clean up my mess a little bit. Put that right on top. Shortcut, another flavor shortcut is the stovetop stuffing. I had somebody was horribly offended that I use stovetop stuffing, but the reason I do is because, gosh, you have so many yummy herbs and seasonings in there. It really kind of does the work for you. So I don't see a problem with that. Let me get rid of a few things. I'll be right back. Okay, I realized after I got started, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm missing my baking pan. We definitely need a baking pan for this. So it took me a minute to find it. That's what we're looking for. In the meantime, I have my oven preheated to 375 behind me. So next step is just to mix the meatloaf together. And when you mix meatloaf, you don't want to overmix it. You just want to mix it until it's all come together. And so I'm just going to kind of work my way through that and mixing them all up. And you know, if you're wondering, gosh, Deb, why don't we use like a 90 or 10 or a 93-10, 93-7 mixture of ground beef, is because with ground beef, you want that little bit of fat in it. You want that little bit of fat to flavor the meatloaf. And that looks just about right. Okay, so now we're gonna transfer the meatloaf into our pan. And I didn't spray the pan because we're gonna not need to spray the pan with this. This is gonna clean up plenty easy, so we don't have to worry about that part. And then we just kind of want to press it into the pan. And I think this is a 9x11. You could also probably use a 9x9. It'd be right at the top of it though. Perfect. Okay. Get this out of the way. And the next thing up are mashed potatoes. So, you know, if it's around the holidays and you have some extra mashed potatoes, fantastic. That's great. If you're lazy like me, I bought Bob Evans mashed potatoes. Those are good. They have great flavor. So I don't see any reason why not to. I did hit it in the microwave for about 3 minutes first, just to make sure, because if I pulled it out of the refrigerator and tried to spread it, it wouldn't spread. It's like pulling butter out of the refrigerator and trying to spread it. It's just not gonna quite cut it. So we're gonna put that right over the top of our meatloaf. Get all that goodness out of there. Didn't quite get it all. Knew that was gonna happen. Okay. And spread that over our meatloaf. Doesn't that look delicious already? Okay. That looks super yummy. You just kind of want to seal all the edges. Wonderful. Set that aside. And we need a little bit of cheese on the top, about a cup. Hang on a quick sec here. I should probably just keep a paper towel beside me when I'm cooking, because I'm not sometimes I can be a little messy. So anyway, about a cup of shredded cheese over the top. That looks like plenty. That's wonderful. Isn't this easy? So you could even prepare this up to here, up to the very end, before you go to work, and that way you're ready to just pop it in the oven after it preheats when you get home. So that would be a good tip. Okay. Spread that out a little bit. Wonderful. And because this is cowboy meatloaf, we need some bacon. And this is, I have had 4 pieces, just thin cooked. Well, it didn't matter if it's thick or thin, but some pre-cooked bacon. And I just want to chop it in little pieces. If you want it to be really fancy, you could put some bacon in the meatloaf as well. That would be delicious. And just sprinkle that over the top. Doesn't that look amazing? Okay, I covered it with foil. Into this 375-degree preheated oven it went for about 50 minutes. At the 50-minute mark, I'm gonna pull it out and check. I wanna make sure that it's cooked through, and I'm gonna know that because I'm gonna use my meat thermometer, my instant read meat thermometer. I want it to be at 160 degrees, so I'm gonna check that, and then I'm gonna put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so, and then it'll be ready for dinner. See you in a bit. Okay, friends, if you can hear in the background, my timer's going off. So let me go ahead and remove that meatloaf from the oven. Let's take the top off, the foil, and see how it looks. We're gonna test it with my instant read thermometer. Be right back. Okay, smells good. We want this to come in at 160 on our thermometer. So let's kind of see where we're at. It's nice and hot and steamy. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, let me just put this in here. When you're testing, yeah, actually it's even a little higher. So yeah, perfect. When you're testing, you don't want to go all the way to the bottom the bottom of the dish, because if you go to the bottom of the dish, it's going to grab that temperature from the bottom, which is going to be a lot hotter. So now we just need to put this back in the oven for another 10 minutes, and that'll kind of brown at the top and make it super super yummy looking. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes and then it'll be time for dinner. Okay guys, check this out. This is exactly what we're looking for. Got a big smile on my face. The house smells so good. I'm gonna bring you a little closer so you can check this out. Doesn't that look amazing? Look at those golden crusty edges. Oh, that's gonna be so good. I'm gonna let this cool for a few minutes and then we're gonna give it a try. And you know, if you pull that meatloaf out, and let's say, you know, you want to test about 160 and it tests actually like 175 or 190, gosh, you know it's done. It doesn't need to bake for another 10 minutes because it's just gonna get dry. We certainly don't want that. If that's the case, what I would do if I were you is tuck it underneath the broiler. You don't leave the shelf, leave the shelf in the middle of the oven, turn your broiler on high, set your timer for 2 minutes, and just keep an eye on it. You just want the edges to be toasty, to brown up the top a little bit, and just to make it pretty. It's all going to taste pretty much the same, but you're just looking to make it pretty and give it that wow factor when you bring it to the table. Leave it under the broiler for a couple of minutes and pull it out, and it's going to look just like this. Amazing. So I'm going to let it cool for a few minutes, and then we're going to give it a try. Okay, my friend, I have let this sit for about 10 minutes. While I was doing that, I made a quick salad. And if you're curious, it's a pear salad. I actually have a video on it too, because it's really bright and fresh and crispy, and I think it'll go really well with the meatloaf. Man, does this smell good. Let's see, okay. I think it's gonna be tough to get that perfect first slice out, and I'm just gonna steal a little piece. All right. Well, that's not too bad. Ooh. Let's see here. Yeah, like the perfect first piece. And see that crunchy bottom? So you still get all those good things you love about meatloaf, but it's topped with mashed potatoes. What is not to love about that? That is a generous bite. I'm sure if I wasn't being filming myself, I could eat that, but not in front of you. Let's give it a try. Oh my gosh, that's good. I suppose if there's one downfall to this meatloaf is you can't make meatloaf sandwiches with it. Or maybe you could. Just be a really, really thick meatloaf sandwich. This is really good, guys. I am so glad that you tuned in and helped me with, or watched me with this recipe. I am definitely eating the rest of that. I'm gonna mix together the salad and we're gonna have dinner. And don't forget, all the ingredients are below, the instructions. A comment would be the world. Just take a moment, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And you know, that quick discussion we had at the beginning, whether or not we need the whole introduction on the ingredients too, that would be really helpful for me just to know that. Don't forget to subscribe. I know there's a button around here somewhere. So don't forget to subscribe. I would appreciate it. Tune in next time. We'll have another yummy recipe for you. It's Deb from Bowl Me Over. You can find all of the wonderful things on the blog at bowlmeover.com. And that's where I share recipes daily. All kinds of good stuff going on there. Hope you head over and check it out. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you next time.